Look at this. What are you doing, Sos? What are you doing? Huh? Okay, don't say nothing. This is my knock around clothes. Hello, Chazelle. How are you? Look at this. Look at, this is where I lay my head to sleep right here, where his butt hole is, where his butt is. That's where I lay down. He takes up the whole bed. How are you doing? Hello, Raul. So I watched your channel, honey. You know what's funny? Is I had a hysterectomy as well. And I also ended up getting endometriosis, and that was awful. And I'm not so sure that it's all gone because sometimes I get horrible pains on my insides, you know. But yeah, it is not a fun thing. Hysterectomies are not fun, that's for sure. You're doing okay? I love your accent, girl. It's so nice. I wish I had an accent. I'm just boring, you know? Oops, sorry. Just boring old, American speaking, boring. I had endometriosis, just had surgery over a week ago. So they did the laparoscopy, I think it's called. I was in my 30s when I had that done, and man, it sucks for women. Men just, you know, men think they have it so hard when in all actuality, uh, they would not be able to, endure what we endure as women. No way. Hello, Eunice. You're 36? Yep. Awesome, bro. Oh no, worn out. I am worn out. I've taken Sosa on 3 walks today. We just got back a little bit ago. That's why my face, it's freezing, it's rainy and cold out. But when I take him for a walk, I sweat because I put on a sweatshirt with a hoodie and a coat and gloves and everything. Hello, June Cook. So earlier I was tickling my little brother's feet. I mean, really getting in there, but my mom told me to wait till he is born. Wait, what? 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 Off 55 light current. I do not know what that means. We'll probably get some trolls in here because it's nighttime. I usually don't go live this late. And my hair, thank you. He's trolling. Yeah. Okay. Well, as long as it's not mean, hateful trolling or disgusting trolling, that's fine. If you're funny, I like funny trolls, but not trolls who are terrible. I see why men pass out in the delivery room. Yeah, I am not. I'm not. Uh, and this hair, I'm getting so ready to cut it. Usually I have my hair like up to here, and I'm getting ready to just get another haircut, like a bob or something, an inverted bob again. That's what I like it the best. Well, thank you. I have 2 children. They're adult children, but the jawline would make Lay Lino blush. I don't get what that means. No cutting. Well, thank you, but I'm sick of it. I mean, it hasn't. I'm just sick of the length. It's going through that stage where it does nothing, you know? I do not speak Chinese, no. It's hot in here, I know, isn't it, babe? The heat's not even on, you guys. I'm hot, sweetie. You too? Me too. I'm hot too, Bubba's. Oh, I'm gonna get your belly. I'm gonna get your belly. Isn't he handsome? I love you. So, God, what was I gonna? I don't know how to cool it down in here. I'm just worried about my adult son because I swear to goodness, ever since COVID, I feel like the younger generation, like 23 up, 23 to 28 to 29, something happened to them. Like ever since COVID, I mean, I don't know what, and I don't know how to help him, you know? I love him, my son, so much, but I don't know how to get through to him. Get a fan. Well, the fan's out in the living room, and I guess I could bring it in here like I do sometimes. I do not need a male gigolo. Thank you, though. Thank you for the offer, but I'm good. Hey, Curtis, how are you? It's nice to see you, honey. What have you been up to? Curtis, you want to see Sosa? There he is. Sosa's here visiting. Huh, baby? He's taken up my bed, so I can't lay down. He has to feel pain to tell you it hurts. Hey, Bill. Who? What, my son? My son? Is that, hey, TWC. My children are 25 and 27. That dog needs exercise. Hey, he went on 3 walks today. You be quiet. And my breasts are small. Thank you. I wish they were. Oh, I've been good. I've been better. I hide them very well. I watched some of your videos too. Your grand dog is so cute. Thank you. Oh, you're just lonesome, Curtis? I'm sorry. Because I don't like them being so big. Sadula, is that how you say that? It's funny. You say they're small, but I'm a 34 triple E G. So they're not that small. Let's see. No, unicorns. I'm not going to show my toes. Sorry. God, you people. Send me $100 super chat and I'll do it. Yeah, I just hide them well. You know, I'm pretty good at hiding them. Because when I was younger, hey, have a boyfriend or no, I don't. No boyfriend, no husband, no girlfriend, nothing. I just work a lot. And when I'm not working, I'm having my granddoggy over to visit. And, you know, spending time with the grandbaby, my granddaughter. And I have a grandson that's due in July. You wouldn't say no. Say no to what? No, I'm old enough to be your guys' grandmother, so I like when you fix your hair. You look great. Oh, thanks, Belle. You're just the right size. No, never seen you in a white shirt. TWC, I know. I don't wear. I wear gray and black for the most part. Well, that's what I feel most comfortable in. Except at work, I wear colorful things, I guess. I ordered this really cute blouse on TikTok. It's really colorful, very bright. I have to step out of my comfort zone because gray and black are my go-to colors. You need some mods in here. Well, they're just not here right now. There's no age limit on beauty. That's true. My mom's 83, and that woman has 9 lives, I'm telling you. But if she wouldn't have drank and smoked for so many years, she would look 30 years younger because she did. Even though she drank and smoked for so many years, up until she was in her 60s, she looked like she was in her 40s. I mean, she was beautiful. She used to look kind of like Raquel Welch. You guys know who Raquel Welch is? Probably way before your time. If I have to go to jail again. TWC, hi Robin. What do you mean go to jail again? What are you talking about? I haven't been in jail since I was 20 years old. Stop. I went to jail one time in my life. And it was for hitting my boyfriend at the time, who, by the way, deserved it. No, nobody deserves violence, but I had just gotten my car because my car got in a wreck and I had a Subaru XT coupe, right? It was like an airplane in there, like all the cool things, right? Well, I got in an accident. They were going to total it out, but they ended up fixing it. And it was over $5,000 to fix it. The night after I got that car back, we went out to a club, right? And I wasn't old enough to be there. But anyways, there was an officer who always patrolled outside this club. We knew him. And my ex came there. He was drunk and probably high on cocaine at the time. And, you know, he went in, found me, brought me outside. We got into a fight and he kicked in the side of my car. Kicked it in after I just got it back. So I slapped him or punched him. I can't remember which. And the officer said, "I'm sorry, I got to take you. I saw you do it." And he goes, "He's going too, don't worry." And I'm like, oh my gosh, I had never been arrested in my life. And I haven't been since. I would never go to jail again. Hell no. And my mom was such a witch at the time. My stepdad was going to come bail me out because it was a weekend. And she's like, let her sit in there. So I had to sit in there. I'd never been in trouble before. All because of him. I mean, I have to take accountability for myself. I should not have reacted that way, but I did. And, you know, he's lucky that's all I did to him, asshole. Now, so he had a huge problem with cocaine and drinking and everything. And he ended up living with me prior to that, right? He moved in with me. And he was gone for weekends at a time, days at a time, following the Grateful Dead around, you know, all of this stuff. And so he ended up going into treatment. And we ended up breaking up. And lo and behold, years later, he ended up becoming a lawyer. I was so proud of him because, you know, he was fucked up. He was a fucked up guy. He looked so innocent though. When he was sober, he was the sweetest thing ever. But when he was drunk or high, he destroyed my apartment, broke my furniture. It was not good. It was not a good situation to be in. But I'm really happy for him that he made something of himself and turned his life around. No, that's not my kids' father. But I was actually engaged to this guy. He actually gave me a ring and we were engaged. And we ended up not getting married. But, he was a good guy. He came from a very well-to-do family. His father was like head of the FBI. And he ended up winning a bunch of money in a settlement. My ex did. And how he used it was he was out partying all the time and he blew right through it. So, you know, and then his mom and dad got a divorce. And that he had two brothers and it tore him apart because the father was having an affair with one of the neighbors, which their families were friends, right? The mothers were friends, and this woman cheated on her husband with him, and he cheated on his wife with her. God, it's hot in here. You know, people that do that and they have families, it's terrible. Just selfish. Like, why do that? It destroys just for sex, you guys, just to for some gratification for a short time. You're willing to sacrifice everything you've worked for and those children that you've brought into this world. You're willing to just destroy their lives because you can't keep it in your pants. Whether it be the woman or the man cheating, whatever. It's like, it destroys the family. People are just selfish. What are you doing, baby? What are you doing? It destroys the family, and it's so sad. You know, imagine if people weren't so selfish. Imagine if people thought of their spouse before acting on something. Imagine if couples could openly talk to each other and share with each other that they were feeling this way. I mean, but God forbid, you know, if you tell your spouse, hey, I'm really struggling with something, I am feeling an urge to step out on you, how do we fix this? You know they're thinking it. So I would respect someone so much more if they came to me and said, I'm thinking about cheating on you, and this is why. You know, maybe there's no reason, and there's nothing you can do about it. But if you could have that open dialogue, I don't know. Because he wanted to have a different life. He wanted to go get the fan. I know, it's hot. Is it Michael's birthday? Hello, happy birthday. Had no sex talk, so I learned it from the Bible. Well, that's a good place to learn it. Are you hot, baby? Look at him. Oh my gosh. Okay, you keep the people company. I'm going to go get the fan, okay? I'm going to go get the fan. I'll be right back. Hold on, baby. Hold on, brother. I don't know why it's so hot, but it is. Hey, Grandma's gonna blow the fan in here, okay? You guys, I hope it doesn't disturb you guys, the noise. I hope it's not noisy. I'll just turn it on low. But even low, this is a very powerful fan. It's a very powerful fan, huh, Stokes? Okay, let's turn it on low. There we go. See, you guys, that's noisy. Okay, oops. I don't want to step on your, or sit on your foot. What do you guys think? I mean, do you think that that would be a good thing to be able to discuss how you're feeling, you know? I don't know. I would respect somebody so much more if they came to me and just told me. Especially, you know, it's gonna go through people's minds when you're married 20, 30 years, you know? We were married 25 years, and we were together, you know, we dated 5 years before we got married, so, you know, that's a long time. Hi, Eric. Why are you single now? Because my husband wanted a divorce. He met somebody. Doggo. Hey, Benny. Yes, happy birthday. Your birthday was on Friday, Thrive Survive? Well, happy belated birthday. Shout out. Okay, I'm not going to say. Communication is key on any relationship. Yeah, but can you imagine how many women would freak out on their spouse? Well, men too. If they went to their spouse and said, hey, this is how I've been feeling, and I don't know why, or maybe they do know why. 9 times out of 10, a woman is unfaithful because she's lacking the intimacy part, not sexual. I'm talking about intimacy. Those are different to me. So I feel that women are unfaithful more because they aren't getting their needs met by their spouse of conversation, just, dating each other, things like that. Men, I don't know, I've listened to a lot of interviews. Men say kind of the same thing, but men are a lot more visual. And so when they see a woman, they think sexually. Um, they don't have to be miserable in their relationship to think about it. They can just get turned on by a woman and be like, shit, nobody's gonna know. Look at all the men that go get prostitutes. And so sometimes a man, yeah, he cheats because his wife doesn't want to experiment with things. She won't do certain things. And if he just goes and pays someone, they'll do it. I remember my old boss, he got a divorce. They had 6 kids. And he was talking about how he's always wanted to be in kind of like the lifestyle, like swinger type thing. Not necessarily swingers, but I think he was a voyeur. Is that what you call it? But I said, well, why didn't you ever ask your wife if she'd be interested in going to one of those clubs or something just to see what it was like? And he's like, are you kidding me? No, she would have thought I was the most disgusting human being on earth. And I said, well, you kind of are. No, I didn't say that. I'm like, well, I mean, I'm not into that stuff, but, I believe that sex should be between 2 people, not 5, that's just my preference, but, I've never been one when I was in a relationship to desire other people. It wasn't something that I ever, battled with at all. So, did I talk to other guys when we'd have problems or whatever? Yes, I did. Because that's what I needed, conversation. I didn't need the sexual part. Hello, Duck. Oh, let's see. What did Steve say? Hey, what waste of space. There's Sosa. It seems like, and I'm not trying to be rude or disrespectful, but I can't even imagine losing any more of my life by watching this. Bye. You don't have to be here. Plus, nowadays, there's OnlyFans. That's right. Here, Steve, let me help you out with that, okay? There. I helped you out with that. You're right. Okay, this is gross. This person talking about PUSSY. Do you want to remain single? You're too attractive to be alone. Spouses talk. They would resolve a lot of issues. I agree, Robin. Benny says, I can give you the sex part, not the conversation, though. Okay, that's okay. Look at my boy. He always wants to be with me. See, hi. Hi, Bubba's. Oh, you want your tummy rubbed? Is that what you want? He's like, pay attention to me, Grandma. So, I mean, you're right. There's OnlyFans. And, I mean, there's free porn on, the internet. And that's a huge issue. Now, some women don't have a problem with their guys, looking at that. For me, if it was every once in a while, that's one thing. But depending on how their brain's wired, there's always that risk of them becoming addicted to it. And that's what happened with my ex. And so, but he was addicted to that way before we even got together. And I think because he was a late bloomer and, you know, his first experience wasn't till later. So I don't know. There's factors that go along with that, but you can't compete with that. And there comes a point to where you kind of lose respect for the person when you know, they have kids and they're sitting there watching stuff that's like barely 18, you know, things like that. It really just more and more made me resent him more. But and because of his addiction to that, my son ended up getting introduced to it, which I, tried very hard to shelter him from that kind of stuff, and I was able to. And then he learns it from his father, how my son ended up running into that whole thing. It's terrible. What's your opinion of the age gap between people dating, or is age number? Eric, I think depending on the age, when you're younger, I do not believe people should. I mean, when you're younger, it's a big deal because of the difference in experiences and the difference in, brain growth and all of that stuff. Like, after a certain age, like 30, 40, your brain's developed and you've had life experiences and things like that. So I don't think it's that big of a deal. Now, if it's a 30-year-old going out with an 80-year-old, that's creepy. If it's a freaking 30-year-old dude going out with an 18-year-old girl, that's creepy. Oh, you let a stinker. Whew. Hey, Peps. I am Italian. How did you know? Eric Castro, I'm 36, almost 37, and your partner is 53. See, that's fine. I mean, that's not even that big of a deal to me. Let's see, what are you saying? When's the last time I heard I love you? When my son dropped Sosa off the other day, and from my daughter, we've been texting. She's sicky poo. But from a man, it's been a long time. It's been a long time. Hassan, speak slowly. I'm still learning English. Asking for a friend that used to dating women 15 to 20 years older than he is, and he's 40. He is dating women 56 to 60, you mean? 56 to 60? And he's how old? 15 and 20? Oh, 15 to... Oh, he's 40. That's not a big deal. That's what, 16 years? That's not a big deal. Do you think it is, you guys? I can cook, but I don't enjoy it very much. I don't enjoy cooking for myself at all. What is going on, buddy? Oh, that's okay. Do you like to dance? Yes, I do. Hassan, can you understand the words coming out of my mouth? Age is just a number 2. Yeah. No, what are you saying? What words are coming out of your mouth? Benny? Benny, what words are coming out of your mouth that I'm missing, huh? Thank you for the thumbs up, guys. Rush hour girl. What's that mean? What does that mean? So I heard this story, you guys. I'm gonna let you listen to it. It's terrible, okay? It's just a short story, okay? But this guy has been threatened in California. Hey, you okay? Um, in California. Oh, what does that mean though, Eric? What does Rush Hour Girl mean? The movie Rush Hour. I do not like to dance to country. No. No, I like some country music, but not much. And no, hip hop more. I like old 80s music too. Old rap, uh, stuff like that. I like Nucleus and that kind of stuff. You were speaking to a Hassan who asked you to speak slowly. Yes. Oh, baby, what are you doing? Honey, you're taking up my spot. He's like, bitch. Bitch, you move. Bitch, you move. Can I sit down too? Can I sit by you? Grandma's falling off the... Okay, can I find this? It's okay, bubbies. You're okay. If I can find this. So, it's really a sad situation, okay? This father... God, how can I show it to you guys? You have to see it. This father... Oh shoot, I was gonna get those pants from Etsy, damn it. Hold on. Let me do this, hold on. I might be able to find it. I'm gonna try to find it here. How are you doing, Pebs? He wants cuddles, yeah. Joe, we would have great conversations if we met, but you probably have a preference, you being Italian. What do you mean by that? A preference? Okay. Where did I see that? Hold on. Here it is. Okay, where's the short for it? Here it is, guys. I'm going to turn this really quick. Okay. Okay, listen. Hold on, listen.
I'm a girl.
Hold on.
Oh, you're a boy, right?
No, I'm a girl.
Who told you you were a girl?
Mommy.
When did she tell you you were a girl?
Cause I love girls.
Oh, I see. So mommy told you you were a girl?
Uh-huh.
Does mommy do anything else like with a girl with you?
Mm-hmm.
Like what?
Like Jesus.
What does she do?
She do something on me.
She puts dresses on you? Oh wow. And
This
what
is
else does
his
she
dad speaking to him.
She buys my headbands.
do? Uh-huh.
Okay, I will.
And she get me hair clips.
Hair
Oh, hair
clips?
clips? Okay.
Okay,
What
Benny,
else?
I will.
Some microphones.
What else?
Like a skeleton.
Does she do anything with your fingers?
Yeah.
What?
She paints my nails.
Why does she do that?
Cause I don't like nail polish.
Oh. So mommy puts you in a dress and puts nail polish on you?
Mm-hmm.
And what does mommy tell you?
She tells me I'm a girl.
Oh, okay. Do you think you're a girl?
Uh-huh.
You do? Is that why you wear this, so that you can have long hair?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay, so
James, he owns
this is...
Software Underbelly is about giving people
Hold on.
space.
Cause I love girls. She wanted me.
Straighted even though I got
Hold
out
on.
at Gruff.
You have to hear this.
Uh-huh.
You do?
Okay, listen. Then he was interviewed, okay?
The state of California says that I have to pay for the chemical and physical castration of my son as child support. I'm not going to pay that child support. I'm not going to pay anything to hurt my son. And that means you'll be going to prison? California is going to send me to prison for that.
So, Jeff, you are going through something. You've been going through something that is probably a father's worst nightmare.
Yeah.
Tell me when this started.
Started when my son was about 2 years old. My ex-wife, who's a pediatrician in Capel, Texas, started thinking that he might be a girl and started trying to transition him to a girl.
Yeah, he did.
And when I tried
He
to put a
did.
stop to that, she filed for divorce and used her relationships with care providers to force me out of my house. And so I moved about a mile up the road from my sons. She filed for divorce formally,
Listen,
and I had 50-50 custody of him. And just after his third birthday, you know, I took the first iPhone video I'd ever taken, and it was him telling me that he thought he was a girl because his mommy tells him a girl. You can go on YouTube and just search for "mommy says I'm a girl." You'll find that video. She was telling him things like, you know, she would put him into timeout and say, "Don't be a boy. The monsters only eat boys," and weird things like this. And she began to then socially transition him, and that led to a titanic battle in the state of Texas that culminated in me getting the procedures outlawed in Texas. And the political establishment in Texas allowing her to come to California so she could still castrate him even though I got it outlawed.
Had your son, you have two sons.
I have two sons, James and Jude. They're twins. They're not identical. James is the one that she's transitioning.
And was there any sign in James that he was open to this or showing signs that he wanted to be anything other than
Well, you know, it's interesting. So he was directly asked that by counselors and stuff. But
you got to
let
remember,
me just tell you about
real quick, you have to remember, 2 years old. I don't give a shit if a 2-year-old acts like a girl, pretends they're a girl, dresses up like a girl. They're 2 years old. A lot of times, they're just doing it to express themselves as whatever. There's nothing wrong with that. My son played with Barbies, played with the boobies on the Barbies. One time, I caught him behind his high chair with a naked Barbie one time. And big deal. Does that mean he wanted to be a girl because he was playing with the Barbie? Like, no. Little girls should be able to play with trucks and get dirty too. Like, this is sickening. And I'm sorry. I'm going to say this. I have the hiccup. Sorry. I'm going to say this, but I guarantee you it's not Republicans who are putting this into law. Okay? It's not. Yeah, just a baby, 2 years old. Benny, it's one reason. Yes. And I heard in Canada too, they were pushing some shit that if your child expresses that in any way that they are a girl or a boy, you know, they're the opposite of what they are, and you don't follow through and take them to counseling and do this, follow through and do what they tell you to do, you could get your rights taken away from your child. Again, they are running people's lives, these politicians.
one of the fundamental facts of the case that a lot of people find shocking.
Oh, Trump is all the way, baby.
James never presented as a girl with anyone but his mom. At church, with me, with his friends.
It is a political issue. It absolutely, Benny, I'm not upset with you. I'm just saying it absolutely is a political issue, because who are the people who vote this stuff into law? When I guarantee you it's not us. The majority of people don't want the government to have control of our children, right? So who's making these rules? Right. Yeah, but you guys make this issue. There might be 3 or 4 of these cases and Trump has no control. No, he does have control about, things like taking men out of women's sports, about allowing children to be harmed at a young age, like this guy was talking about. No, but there's so many people. It is such a minute part of the world. But why is there so much focus on those people? Right? If it's not a big deal and it's such a small part of society, why is there such a big focus on it by the politicians? Why? And here's the thing. These people, you didn't used to hear about this stuff all the time because it's a societal thing, a lot of it, because I believe people that feel like some people definitely do feel like they were born in the wrong body. Absolutely. I'm not saying that is not true. Both can be true. But there's other people where, like, there was this family where everybody in the family transitioned. 4 people. So the mother became the father became a mother, the little girl became a boy, and the little boy became a girl. That does not happen. A lot of these parents, and if you look up this child named Desmond is Amazing, this will show you how a mother can push this on a child and get for attention. They don't just
Dressed as a boy and called himself James. He only presented as a girl with his mom. And I asked him one time, why are you doing that? And he just flat out told me, he said, well, mommy doesn't love me if I'm not a girl. And that's what he told the counselors too. James is a very talented boxer. I'm a boxer, my dad was a boxer. James is extremely talented. Jude's a wrestler, but James is a very talented boxer. Olympic talent scouts were looking at him. He's that good. And they backed away from him once this all got started.
okay. This is again. I'm going to say this. You guys, people don't listen to really what's going on. Trump and Musk. They are not getting rid of Social Security. Okay, they're dismantling the corruption within Social Security.
He has
What are you
all
doing?
boy friends. Now he has some things that you might say are feminine.
That's right.
He
Eric.
likes art. He particularly likes painting and pastels. My son Jude likes sculpture, you know. James is also more extroverted and is willing to play with almost anybody, you know. And he will definitely play with girls. He'll play tag with girls. He'll build things with girls. He has no problem like hanging around with girls. But in terms of having a desire to be a girl, he consistently told me for 10 years that he had no desire to be a girl. He told the court-appointed counselor that he was embarrassed to wear dresses to school. He was getting too old for that and didn't want to wear dresses. And they initiated a CPS investigation against me for forcing him to be a boy. And my 7th.
Forcing him to be a boy. Forcing him to be what he was born as, a boy, right? So Trump does not want to get rid of Social Security. What are you listening to, Benny? He would never want to get rid of Social Security. Hey, love you. Is that Aziz? Did you change your name?
CPS investigation.
How are you, hon?
And do you have contact with
Hi,
with
Johnny.
your sons now?
No, I'm disallowed all contact with my sons.
You're not allowed to even contact.
No,
He can't have
I'll
any
tell you how this
contact
all
with his
sort of built
kids.
up. So she started transitioning him, you know, really hardcore at
Hey,
3.
Kaylee.
I mean, where she presented him to the world with a fake girl's name.
Thank
and
you,
everything.
Eric.
This, of course, would have been an important component in the divorce that was going on. So we get to 2017, and we have our divorce trial, and We had a custody evaluator.
And
His
this
name is
woman's a
Blake Mitchell. He
pediatrician.
practices out of Frisco, Texas, which is a suburb of Dallas.
Hey, Kaylee.
And he asked me, what is your top issue? And I said, my top issue is she's tampering with my son's gender identity. So he charges me $60,000 and does a 1-year investigation of my family. Interviewing my
$60,000.
children over and over again, everything. And determines that
Leslie.
she was not transitioning my son to a girl. He straight up lied to the court. And said that I
Wow.
had made a false accusation against her for saying that she was trying to transition my son to a girl. And on that basis, I lost 50-50 custody and got less than standard possession time. So I basically got, 4 to 6 days a month with my sons.
Wow.
So that's how the divorce ended,
Over.
with the psychologist just outright lying. Now, I've been lucky with these psychologists that lie.
Hey,
I've been able to
Native.
prove they've lied. So the court actually set aside his report. But that's what he actually told the court in his report. So she then starts really ramping up it again. And now he's wearing makeup to school. He's using the girls' restroom at his elementary school, which was Pinkerton Middle School in Capel, Texas.
Can you believe that?
I got that school shut
Oh,
down. That school doesn't
baby.
exist anymore. Capel is shut down.
He got it shut down.
Got rid of the principal there. Her name is Miss
Baby.
Mickelson, who's the one that really transitioned my son.
Oh my
And I
goodness.
found out
Transitioned.
after 2.5 years, they had been transitioning my son secretly behind my back.
Oh my
So I would bring
God.
my son to Pinkerton Middle School in Capel in boys' clothes, because he wears boys' clothes with me. And they would give him
That
a
poor
dress
child.
and tell him to use the girls' bathroom. And when I found that out, I
That
filed
poor
grievances
child.
against the public school.
Not.
And of course, they exonerated themselves, saying that under their nicknames policy, they're allowed to call him whatever he wants. And they're allowed to put him in dresses because he wants to wear it and it doesn't harm him in any way.
The school?
And so there was just no place to go. It's virtually impossible in Texas to sue a school district because they have sovereign immunity. So this kept ramping up with my ex-wife until
Here in
finally I
San
looked in the
Diego,
medical
John?
records with my ex-wife chose a pediatrician, Dr. Jennifer Pape, in Flower Mound, Texas, where I live. And Dr. Pape, in the medical records, it says that
Okay. Benny, I'm glad you asked. She started changing him at 2 years old, putting fingernail polish on him, convincing him he's a boy, or a girl. Oh, Native, we're listening to this interview from this guy who's been threatened to be arrested. It all has to do with transitioning his son. He's lost rights to see him. It's just a very sad story.
her and Miss Georgilis, my ex-wife, were planning on chemically castrating James at age 8 or 9. That's plain black and white in the medical records.
8 or 9.
So obviously I start to vociferously oppose this. I try to get a new pediatrician. I have to go to court to try to get a new pediatrician. That leads her to file another lawsuit against me for sole control of James.
So they were, at what age were they looking to do this?
At age 8 or 9, they were going to chemically castrate him. Yeah.
And, I've interviewed many people who have transitioned,
Yes.
and the majority of them, like I would say 98% of them, are not castrating. They're just choosing to be,
Live
Like
They're
as
just cross-dressing. Yeah.
they're cross-dressers who are saying that they're
I know,
Yes.
Native. It's
We used to
terrible.
call it transvestitism. We don't do that anymore.
They keep changing the name.
Yeah. In my view, they've invented a kind
Thank
of
you.
identity
Exactly,
awareness, but
Benny.
that
See, we
talk
can
about
agree
that.
on things. It should be the individual's own choice. I'm telling you, these parents are pushing their kids to question their identity. You know? And like I said, even if as a 2-year-old or 3-year-old he wanted to wear a dress, let him wear a fucking dress. Who cares? If he wanted any of the things that she was forcing him to do, if he had wanted to do that on his own, that's okay. Let them express who they are. And if at 21 years old they still feel the same way, then they can make the decision for themselves. How dare her try to take it upon herself to change that little boy's identity. That is horrible. Anytime. Still not voting for Trump. That's okay. That's totally fine. A lot of people can't stand the guy. Don't push it onto a child. That's disgusting. And this poor guy is fighting for his child's
the pattern that
rights.
you see is with boys, it's mothers transitioning prepubescent.
Exactly,
and
Native.
they put them on
Exactly.
puberty blockers. And there's a simple reason.
I sound so
that
full
the
of
gender
shit.
doctors
Thank
have to put
you.
these kids on puberty blockers.
Even though
And the
it's
reason
him
is
talking,
puberty is the
speaking
cure
his
for gender
experience,
dysphoria.
but okay.
Puberty is when you come to grips with your gender role.
Yeah, they should
and
go through
you either
puberty
become
first.
gay or a boy, right? 98% of the time, they just become
That's when the
normal boys.
testosterone kicks in.
That's right.
And you become
That's right.
a boy who chases girls
That's right.
for the rest of our lives.
That's right.
Yeah.
And so they have to block puberty to extend the gender dysphoria in order to get them into the pipeline for the surgeries. And so
What?
there's a money pipeline
What?
with these clinics. Each child that goes on puberty blockers becomes a $4.5 million lifetime income stream for the clinics.
What?
And they're residual income streams.
What
so
you want?
they can have hundreds of them at the same time. So they're making hundreds of dollars a year, hundreds of millions of dollars a year off of these kids. So they block puberty
What?
to stop the cure, because puberty is the cure for gender dysphoria. And I believe puberty is actually a human right. Puberty is when you become fully human. Puberty is when your brain matures. You get a rational faculty, an adult rational faculty. It's when you come to grips with your roles and your duties in society, which is the marker of a mature adult person, someone who can assume those duties in a benevolent way, right? It's when your body matures. As you know, what a shame it would be for these young men. I mean, they'll never know. These young men that went on puberty will never know the grace and power the male body is capable of
over here.
in its youth. They'll never know that.
Gotta have a
And what a
Snickers ice
shame
cream
to
bar.
miss that. That confidence that comes from that carries on into middle age. And that's where you get entrepreneurship and the risk taking in America. It's from the physical experiences. That's why sports are important in America for men. You know, it builds a certain kind of character. All of that stuff is what puberty is. And so I consider it a human right. It's essentially denying a child the full development of their rational faculties, their emotional faculties, and their physical faculties. And so I think it's an actual human rights violation.
That's abuse.
So anyway, this thing just like goes crazy, right? Where she's trying to transition him. They're talking about castrating him at age 8 or 9. So I immediately go full court press in Texas to get this made illegal. And it took me 6 years to do it, and hundreds of thousands of dollars of my own money. The entire Texas.
Yeah, what if
Republican
he didn't have the
establishment
money?
on it. They did not want to take a vote on this. And the reason for that may surprise you. The transgender movement was started by Republicans, was not started by Democrats. Yeah, we could talk about that. The donor class of the Republican Party did not want this outlawed. That's why all these Republican governors were vetoing these bills when they would pass them, and in Arkansas and Alabama, Mississippi, and so forth. So I immediately start lobbying to do this, and I have to use grassroots organizing because I can't rely on the moral conscience of the legislature because they're being paid by these donors that don't.
Hold on. Did he just say that the Republicans didn't want it outlawed? Go. So said, no, you can't have this. Go on. Well, this is political. He just said something about Republicans being involved in this. So I guess Republicans were for this. I'm gonna have to look that up.
Don't want it made illegal. So that's the first thing. And then we go to trial in 2019, 255th District Court under Judge Kim Cooks. The top transgender experts in the world show up in this little courtroom. Worldwide media. So I'm an Orthodox Christian. So James's story went all over Eastern Europe, even into Russia, all over the place, because these are Orthodox countries that are formerly Christian countries. Their state religion is Orthodox Christianity. And they think of Texas as being in the Bible Belt. So they're like, how does this happen to an Orthodox boy in Texas? Like, it didn't make sense. So it was a story that was that had legs all over these Orthodox countries. So we had international media there. It was a circus. So I had Dr. Levine as my expert. He founded the first gender clinic in America in Johns Hopkins University in 1974. And after 4 years, in 1978, they shut their clinic down because their data showed that their treatments were harming patients.
Oh.
And we know now the data that's coming out of Children's Hospital here in LA, the data that the University of Texas at Austin, which is as liberal as Berkeley, by the way, just put out a comprehensive meta-study showing that these treatments actually harm patients. The Cass report in the UK, which is the largest systematic review ever done in any psychological discipline in the history of psychology, found it harms patients. Every meta-study and systematic review finds that these treatments don't work and they actually harm patients. So he's the one who testified for me. They had Johanna Olsen Kennedy, who at that time was running LA Children's Hospital Gender Clinic. She doesn't anymore because of a huge scandal in which she has been hiding data. She was given an NIH grant to study outcomes for children on these treatment programs, and she showed no benefit in her data.
That's
for the
just
treatment
wrong.
programs. And she chose not to release the data because she said it would be used by opponents of transgender medicine. That's the state of science. in
That's
the
just
transgender
wrong, you
world.
guys. Children
So
and
she came
transgender
in,
together.
I deposed her. I did a video deposition with her, and I asked her one question, and the other side dropped her as an expert. And here's the question I asked her, and
Good
her
job
answer says everything you need
fighting,
to
Daddy.
know about the other side of this issue. I said, what is your medical justification for amputating healthy body parts from children? She said, if they cause psychological distress, they're not healthy body parts. Opposing counsel was a woman, was in the room. She threw her pen on the floor and quit the case. She left. It was so disgusting. And they were not going to put her in front of a Texas jury saying that. So they dropped her. So I won the 2019 trial. I got 50-50 custody. I got no child support. But the most important thing is I got a check on all medical procedures. So she could not chemically castrate him at age 8 or 9.
Good job.
By a few years later after this, I've successfully got a law passed which outlawed these procedures. You could lose your medical license for doing these things. So in that intervening 2 years,
In Texas.
in that intervening 2 years, the judges, the liberal judges in Dallas County, Texas, got very upset that I got 50-50 custody and that James is not going to be transitioned. So they sua sponte moved my case from the 255th District Court into the 301st District Court with Judge Mary Brown, who I'll henceforth call Bloody Mary Brown. Judge Bloody Mary Brown
That's
never
corrupt,
gave me 50-50
see?
custody, never gave me a check on the medical procedures, and never eliminated my child
Moved
support.
his
She
case
completely ignored the jury verdict.
To
And over a period of about 3
district
years,
where a
she
judge
systematically
would
stripped me of all
side with the
parental
other
rights.
side.
And she used a technique that's very common in family court. First of all, she gave me an order that I couldn't follow. That's what they'll do. They'll give you an order that you just can't follow. So I was running for office in Texas. I ran for a Texas representative at House District 63. And I was in the middle of a campaign. And she issued a gag order on me, which gave me a lifetime ban on doing any podcast interviews, writing any newspaper articles, doing
See,
blog
these people
posts,
have too much
posting
control over
videos,
us.
appearing in YouTube videos. It's a totally unconstitutional gag order. It also prohibited me from talking about 3 political topics. I could not talk about transgenderism, gender dysphoria, or gender expansiveness.
How can a
And I was
judge do
prohibited
that?
in public from telling anyone whether my son was a boy or a girl.
They have too much power.
Well, obviously, if you're running for office and your
No.
campaign platform is outlawing transgender surgeries on kids, you can't follow this order. And she very well knew I could not follow it. So
But
I didn't follow it.
you know, they
I
can
gave
talk about
my
how
campaign materials
they're for
referenced the
that.
transgender issue and everything. So that's the first thing she did. The second thing she did is she reasoned and this is a classic family court tactic. So I have an illegal gag order, right? She literally reasoned this way verbally in court. She said, well, there's this illegal gag order, this gag order that you say is illegal, Mr. Younger. It's prima facie illegal. But the illegal gag order was entered in the best interest of your children. So by not following the illegal gag order, you're not acting in the best interest of your children.
Aw,
And
good
on
night,
that
Eric.
basis,
Have a
gave me
good night,
supervised
sweetie.
visitation. And this is a very common tactic that judges use in family court as well.
Yep.
And we'll get to what happened in California. It was just used on me yesterday at
My shoulder's
9:30
hurting. Sorry,
Texas
guys.
time. And we'll talk about that. So, and it's about free speech as well. Because they know that's what'll get you. What they try to do in family court is they try to find
Shut
out what
down
the
your
father
free speech. Huh?
can't do or won't do. And then they construct orders which forces him to violate the orders.
Mm-hmm.
And then they take his kids from him. That's how it works. So I had 3 principles when I started
Take it off.
that I said I was going to follow because, I needed some kind of moral guide.
Hey, Sue Soul
So I
Sister.
said, 1,
That's
I'm never
right,
gonna hurt
but
my
you
son.
right,
Never gonna-
but you
no
can
matter
at
what they
8 or
order,
9
I'm
get your
never hurting
pee-pee
my
cut
son.
off.
That's number 1.
No.
Number 2,
How
I'm
are
never
you,
going
sweetie?
to morally miseducate my son. I'm never going to tell him things that are morally incorrect. I will never miseducate him in that way. And third, I said I would never let my resources be used to hurt him or morally miseducate him.
Sounds like
So
a
those
good
are the
dad.
3 principles way back in 2017 that I wrote down. It's in my office. I live by those principles.
Thanks
So
for the
they gave me
thumbs up,
supervised
guys.
visitation with Forensic Counseling Services in Dallas County. Notice that
25,
I
you
named
think,
names.
Benny?
And I name names in every interview, and they've never sued me for defamation because I can prove everything I'm saying is true, and truth is an absolute defense against defamation.
See, yeah.
So
If it's
Forensic
not,
Counseling
if he's
Services
lying,
is
then
run
he could
by
get
Duke
sued.
David.
But
One of them is fairly rational guy, kind of like him, nice guy. One of them, though, is a huge transgender activist.
good to see you, honey.
He refused to let me change my son out of address when my son came for the supervised visits. He refused to let me use my son's real name, his legal name, and he refused to let me pray with my sons in the supervised visits. And here's why he did that. Let me tell you again how family court works. He knew very well that my son would be embarrassed to be in a dress in front of me. And he would report that as fear, not embarrassment. And that would give the court more ammunition, right? He knew that if I used James's real name, he would be forced to report that James was in boys' clothes using his boy's name and he was perfectly comfortable with it with his father. And he didn't want to report that. He wanted to report that James was uncomfortable as a boy, you see? So he could not let me be
How
with
do
James
these
when
people
he's,
have
when he's
this
just
right? I
normal
don't-
James. And finally, these psychologists have no theory. If you ask them in depositions, like what is the empirical theoretical basis for the judgments you put in these reports, they fully admit that they don't have any. They say that they're just making observations
Yeah.
about the child, but you're like, wait a
That-
minute,
that makes
expert
sense, Benny.
testimony requires a scientific basis. What's the scientific basis for this? And they admit they don't have it, but it's still admitted. Family courts will still admit
Terrible.
this. So we got into it with him, and then I said, well, I can't do the supervised visits.
Yeah,
So you
imagine
see how
having
they
to
created another condition
detransition.
where I cannot comply with the order. You see how it works? So
And
now
people that are mad about, people getting fired, Trump firing people out of in certain positions in the Social Security Department, the IRS, judges, they're corrupt. I mean, just like this guy's talking about. He wants people in there who are going to be fair to the American people. What is so wrong with that? I don't understand. Don't we want corruption out of there? Don't we want to have more of our money that we work so hard for I say yes. And so many people like Benny think that they're going to do away with Social Security. No, that's not what's happening. He would never do that. Unless, I will say this, unless Trump had a better plan for people to receive something in lieu instead of Social Security, I could see him doing that. But I would never see him taking away Social Security for the elderlies when they've worked their whole lives. He wouldn't do that.
Not complying with a gag order, and now I'm not complying with supervised visitation. So they let this go for 18 months, which is a special benchmark in Texas, right? 18 months with no visitation.
Oh my gosh.
And then my ex-wife filed to move to California,
Oh my
saying that I
gosh.
had abandoned my sons because I wasn't visiting them. The judge said, well, Mr. Younger, we were perfectly allowed to go visit your sons. There was nothing stopping you from visiting your sons, and you just haven't done it.
You're 5 minutes away from getting Ozempic for weight loss. So this is Ozempic.
And I tell her, well, I would morally miseducate my son. I would be directly harming my son by using his girl's name and teaching him that he's a girl when he's not. And you would be forcing me to pay $500 per visit, which is what it costs, per visit.
They
And so I'd
charge
be using my resources to hurt my son.
$500 per visit?
And I've told this court repeatedly, those 3 things I'm never going to do. And she said, well, I conclude that you have abandoned your sons because you had every opportunity to go visit them. This is the game they play.
Yep.
So Judge Bloody Mary Brown's
Family
then allowed
court,
my
you
ex-wife
guys.
to move my kids to California since I had abandoned them in Texas, of course. Not to mention that I write them letters all the time.
Family court is corrupt.
Every time they go into a new school grade, I ask them to tell me
Oh,
what
you gave me
they're
a bag of
studying.
money? Thank you,
That
TWC.
I have a
Thank you.
Substack, and I write letters to them online all the time. None of this stuff is even in the orders. It was
Good,
it was
I
not
could
even
use
allowed to
it.
be entered into evidence.
How much
It
is
was
in
all-
that
it
bag?
was all
Come on.
hearsay. It's another thing they do. They keep out some evidence so
Yep.
that they can only, the judge can say, on appeal, the judge say, well, this is the only facts I had available, you see. This is the game that gets played.
This poor
If you want
guy.
to know,
You guys, if you want to listen to
how
it,
the corruption in
here.
the Trump trials could happen.
it's on
The template was from Family Court.
it's
It was
on,
Family Court lawyers that built the template for how to
Soft
do
White
this in
Underbelly.
criminal and civil courts. Family Court was the template for it. It was developed. These strategies were developed by unscrupulous law firms in the late 80s and early 90s.
late
And
80s.
judges
and
receive
90s.
most of their campaign donations from these law firms. And so the judges have
See,
kind of
weren't
gone
we
along
talking
with it.
about
And
this
now
earlier?
We've got from the 90s to now, all
The
the
money
judicial
involved
training
in
programs are
politics
run by
and
those unscrupulous law firms.
How
And so judges think this is
favors
just normal.
have to be given from the
Family court
donors.
judges will just brag like, yeah, we
Because of
violate
the
people's
the
constitutional rights all the time
donations.
because we go with the best interest of the child.
Yes, Soft White Underbelly.
And they brag about violating parents' constitutional rights. And they hated me,
Jail
hated me
jumpsuit.
for making constitutional rights arguments because the great fear
I was
of all
in
family
what their
courts
clothes. I don't
is
remember
that
what they put.
one
I don't
day
even remember
some
what I was
father's going to
wearing.
make it into federal
Just
court.
the shirt and pants. Yeah.
And they're going to have to rule that these gag orders are unconstitutional, that these supervised visitations are unconstitutional. Because honestly, if there hasn't been a criminal adjudication that a parent is unfit
Yeah. I mean.
or unwilling to parent, then
So yeah, if you guys want to watch it, I don't even remember what I think they just had me in the jumpsuit, shirt, and pants. When I will never go back to jail again, ever. After that one time, when I was a young lad, no, I was 20, I was like, never going back. I didn't eat in there. I gave my food away. I'm like, nope, I'm never coming back to this place. No. I mean, imagine now. I can imagine what it's like now. When I used to love the show Orange is the New Black, And Wentworth. I loved Wentworth. Okay, hon. I loved the show Wentworth. I wish they would make new series of that. That was a good show. Oh, he's sleeping in the hall. My baby boy. Just the weekend. I was in there over the weekend for smacking my boyfriend. Orange is the New Black was a good show. Both those series are great. I think I liked Wentworth better. Wentworth was good. I loved that show. But, you know, you guys, springtime, Handmaid's Tale is supposed to come out. I mean, they keep pushing it off. It's going to be the last, what you call it? It's going to be the last time that it's on. And it's only going to be, I think they said like 6 episodes or something. But, I want to know when it's going to be on. Season 6. Time stands still when you're locked up. Oh, baby. Okay, season 6. Release date scheduled. Hold on. Spoiler 2 days ago. Come here, baby. You're okay. Come here. The season 6 of Handmaid's Tale. Oh, here's all the pictures. Okay. In the final season, press release. Okay. Aunt Lydia. Remember Aunt Lydia, you guys? Okay, well, it's not, doesn't say when it's... I got rid of Hulu. You guys, because they didn't put anything new on there ever. So I was like, I'm not paying for this anymore. Let's see, let's look at this one. Okay, The Handmaid's Tale, season 6 release date. The season 6 of Handmaid's Tale returns to Hulu next month. And it has been a long wait for fans of the show who have been desperate for its return since season 5 wrapped up in the fall of 2022. Okay. Now that the gap is finally coming to a close, we are looking ahead to the conclusion of the series that's been on air since 2017. As season 6 of The Handmaid's Tale premieres to debut on Hulu on April 8th, 2025, with the first 3 episodes and new episodes released weekly thereafter. Okay, so April 8th, if you guys are a fan of Handmaid's Tale, April 8th, it comes out, and they're going to come out automatically with 3 episodes the first night. Oh my gosh. Is it only going to be on Hulu? I hate Hulu. It's going to be available from midnight, April 8th. Okay. It'll be, however, in the past episodes have typically run between 41 and 65 minutes. The exact runtime has yet to be determined. April 8th, guys. April 8th. What, buddy? We're not going out anymore. No. No, we're not going out. We went on 3 walks today. We're done. Okay, I'm excited now, you guys, because I've been dying to find out the final day that that's coming out. Okay, let's go to bed. Come on. Let's go to nights. Grandma's tired. I gotta work in the morning. I gotta work tomorrow, buddy. Because they're bored. Yeah, Handmaid's Tale. Why do I hate Hulu? Because I paid for them for so long and they never came out with anything new. It was always the same old bullshit shows, you know? So I got, and then they kept raising their prices. I was like, I'm done with this. I'm done. Go lay down, buddy. Oh my gosh. Okay, guys, I'm gonna go. I gotta go to bed. It's 10:13. I gotta get up and go to work tomorrow. So, and I messaged with the gal who comes over and walks Sosa for me. She's gonna be able to come and take him tomorrow. So, good night, everyone. Nice seeing you. Yeah, I have Netflix. I hate them too, but I mean, Amazon. I have Amazon, Peacock, Paramount, and Netflix. Good night, guys. You guys, thanks for hanging with me. I made it 4 times in 2 days. Well, in 1 day, really. Good night. Nice conversation. Yes, thank you guys for being here. And make sure to hit the subscribe button. And night, Kay. Aw, Chazelle, thank you, honey. You guys, Chazelle has a channel. Go subscribe to her. And also, wait, who else was I thinking of? Well, I'll talk about it another time. I can't remember. No, we're not going out. Oh my God. I can't get any rest, I'm telling you. No, buddy. It's time for bed. Okay? Okay. Sweet dreams. Good night, guys. Good night, Robin. Bye, everybody. It's time for bed, so come on.